and then from off the high board into the pool of great expectations, they belly flopped. We're talking draft bust, folks. Flopperoos.
Now tell me why he's a bust. That's the question.
It will crumble. It will crush him. Just the expectations based on the poor skill set he has.
Did this performance against New England prove that he's a bust?
You don't make that pick based on the other players that are available to you. You make that pick, we got to question you're evaluating players and their transition and their ability to transition to the National Football League.
You've got a playmaker there, but are you getting a complete player and someone you want to use a first-round pick on? I think is still very much up for debate.
We're talking about players who are supposed to be go to the cashier and collect sure things, and turned out instead to be sonic booming busts.
The draft bust, a mythical enigma that NFL GMs making millions of dollars still struggle to figure out. As a Cleveland Browns fan, I've witnessed many draft busts firsthand. I can testify to the destructive effect on a franchise.
You all want to talk about the draft?
But it's not just the Browns making awful selections. In a study published just last year, looking at how often first-round draft picks manage to remain stable starters in the NFL, it was found, shockingly, that more than 50% of draft picks end up being busts. So in this video, we're going to look at some of the underlying factors amongst those busts, and try to determine why their careers get so derailed. The first player I want to look at is Johnny Manziel. Formerly known as Johnny Football, he showed off his dynamic ability and blazing speed throughout high school, certifying himself as a top dual-threat quarterback in the nation. As a freshman Aggie, he broke several D1 and SEC records, becoming the first freshman to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 more in a single season. His backyard style of play earned him many fans and media attention, and ultimately the Heisman Award. However, after being selected 22nd overall to the Browns, he began to fall apart. Athletes are highly competitive people with enormous egos and way too much pride, and one of the easiest ways for a prospect to flop is for that ego to get in the way of their craft.
The former NFL quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner, now opening up about his struggles off the field.
For Manziel, the spotlight became too big in the NFL, and his off-field distractions destroyed his career.
A sense of entitlement about what I had accomplished at the age that I had accomplished it, and I got so ingrained in only caring about what Johnny wanted.
Here he is lighting up in the middle of an interview. We should have known that if he didn't have the self-awareness to shave that attempted facial hair off his face, then he surely wasn't cut out to be a pro QB. Now, I hate to keep the train of busts going with another Browns player, but, well... Trent Richardson was a standout running back at Bama, whose highly valued skill set was drawing comparisons to Adrian Peterson. The physical runner finished third in the Heisman voting, behind only who would become the top 2 picks in the NFL draft that year, Andrew Luck and RG3. Many believed his abilities would translate extremely well to the NFL, and his physical size would allow him to compete with defenses. In his rookie year with Cleveland, Richardson put up over 1,300 all-purpose scrimmage yards. Not a bad season by any standard, but the next season he was shipped off to the Colts in exchange for a first-round pick, and his career took a hit. After only 2 years in the league, Richardson found himself without a job. Richardson's downfall can mainly be attributed to his god-awful vision in the backfield. Many pictures and various articles and memes surfaced criticizing Richardson for consistently missing wide-open holes.
Did I stutter? I'm blind!
Richardson was a power back at heart, but the truth is, physicality is not enough to succeed in the NFL because everyone on the field is an elite athlete. His lack of understanding of the run game ultimately cost him his NFL career.
Seattle Seahawks select Aaron Curry! Yeah!
Aaron Curry was drafted 4th overall in the 2009 draft, but after 4 seasons, he was out of the league. He won the Dick Butkus Award in 2008 for the nation's top linebacker, and led the NCAA with 3 pick sixes in his 2007 season with Wake Forest. Upon reaching Seattle, he received an enormous amount of attention and praise from the fans, maybe even a little too much, according to him.
My avenue away from the rest of the world, but then you get to a level of football where it becomes the world for the most part. That was hard for me because it's like you've gotta meet these expectations or you become a failure.
For Curry, the pressure was too much, and the realization that football was now his job took away some of his passion for the game. Many prospects work so hard to get drafted that they often forget the real work starts after the draft. When you think about a Pro Bowl player, it's someone who wants to improve their game and become better. Without a desire to continue to improve, a first-round pick will be out of the league in 3 years or less. Robert Griffin III became the first Baylor Bear to win the Heisman, following his stellar junior season in 2011. After getting drafted second overall to the Redskins the following year, RG3 put together one of the best rookie seasons of all time. With over 4,000 all-purpose yards and 27 total touchdowns with only 5 interceptions, he was selected to the Pro Bowl as well as the All-Rookie team, and went on to win the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year award. In his sophomore year, Griffin managed to take the Redskins to the wildcard game versus the Seahawks. In what would be a career-defining play for Griffin, he tore the ACL, LCL, and meniscus in his right knee, and would have to have reconstructive surgery only 3 days later. He would return to the team next season, but only played 9 games due to an ankle dislocation. After the 2014 season, the Washington football team severed ties with Griffin after contract disputes. It was later reported that RG3 was having conflicts with many of the coaches, and that the franchise believed his career was fizzling out. So now that we've looked at a couple different busts, let's generalize some of our findings. A typical bust is arrogant and full of themselves. Like Johnny Manziel, their ego is bigger than their game. They're anxious about the public's opinion and often buckle under the intense pressure of professional sports. Like Aaron Curry, that pressure can take away some of their passion for the game. They're lazy. Rarely does a college athlete have the skill set to excel immediately upon reaching the next level, and that means work ethic is crucial. Lastly, as RG3 showed us, durability in the hard-hitting league of football is vital, and although many might say durability is a hard aspect to predict, RG3's aggressive running style was clearly a risk to his health. Ultimately, the biggest takeaway from examining draft busts is that it's not enough to be a talented athlete if you want to contribute to pro sports. An athlete's character will be revealed and tested throughout their professional career. So when draft day comes, don't just be looking at their 40 times, total touchdowns, or career interceptions. Take a look at their interviews, listen to what their teammates and coaches have to say about them, and decide for yourself if they really have what it takes to be a success. As always, thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe to my channel to stay updated on all the content I work so hard to produce.